On August 10, 2015, 2 people were killed in an IKEA store in Sweden. In the aftermath of these murders, a wave of misinformation is making its way across political clickbait websites and social media pages. I'll get straight to the point. Despite the IKEA story reports stating there were beheadings, that the perpetrator is a Muslim man, and that all IKEA stores are pulling knives from the shelves, none of this is true. First, official reports from major news sites state that 2 people were killed. There is no official report that there were beheadings. Conservative political clickbait websites and their social media pages are capitalizing on the fear of a large group of Americans, trying to make them think about ISIS and terrorism. They're playing people, and the people don't even know they're being played. Second, there is no official report that the perpetrator is a Muslim man. The man is Eritrean. A large percentage of Eritrea practices Christianity, with similar numbers practicing Islam. This Muslim part of the story seems to be an assumption stated to fit a political agenda. The local police chief in the Sweden town, Per Agren, told reporters there were, quote, no political overtones, unquote. As a side note, there's an interesting article about Eritrea and terror on The Guardian from June 10, 2015. And third, there's misinformation going around that IKEA has stopped temporarily selling knives in all stores. These political clickbait websites know that they can phrase this a specific way so that people will think one thing despite not necessarily saying it. Here's what I mean. A website and Facebook page called Chicks on the Right said, quote, so what does IKEA do in response? They certainly don't increase security or even allow guns inside their stores. Nope, none of that. They said they're actually going to stop selling knives temporarily. Yep, you read right. A crazed Muslim jihadi nut kills 2 of IKEA's customers, and IKEA blames the freaking knife display in their own store. And there was a huge increase in trying to protect migrants because racist white people might try to retaliate, or something. All right, despite how that's written, notice in the statement that they didn't necessarily say that all IKEA stores will temporarily ban knives. But in reading it, that's what you might think they're trying to get across. It's clever. This specific IKEA store said it will temporarily halt knife sales. Store manager Matthias Johansson told Swedish television, quote, out of respect for the staff, we will for the time being not sell any knives. Now this one store said it's temporary. They aren't necessarily blaming the knives. They just want to put them elsewhere for a temporary period of time because they, the people there on the ground, in a completely different country from the United States, came to a clear-thinking conclusion that it's the best decision just for a few days, or perhaps longer, to remove the knives. Sweden's murder rate is low. Just how low? Have a look for yourself. So it's understandable they were very shaken, and that they probably don't care that some internet commenters who live 7,000 miles away have an opinion about their tragedy and how they're handling it. Look at the post to the relatively small following on the Facebook page for the specific IKEA store. When I click to see the translation, you can tell that the store manager is incredibly sincere and emotional. Quote, even now in the evening, I want to send a thought to those who are affected by Monday's tragic event. I think of you, all of my colleagues as well. During the day, we have focused on taking care of each other, and we would like to warmly and humbly thank you for all of you who have supported us differently in that work. Together with my colleagues, I have this afternoon made the decision to reopen tomorrow, August 12th. I and my colleagues will do our best to you, who are interested in our home furnishings, to give you good customer service. Some of the misinformation around this story stems from this reckless line on Breitbart.com. They mention the word beheading, and next say, quote, there are unconfirmed suggestions in the fringe press that the killers shouted Allah Akbar as they struck. Chicks on the Right decides to pick up Breitbart's story and says at the beginning of their article, quote, the man took knives from the store's knife display and stabbed them both. One was also beheaded. So suddenly the beheading rumor from Breitbart becomes fact on Chicks on the Right. And over at AlanBWest.com, a political website with around 1.8 million Facebook followers, he picked up the Breitbart story too, including the beheading part. Speaking of issues involving weapons, when Chipotle in May of 2014 saw photos and news stories about men open carrying guns in their restaurants, they put out a statement, simply saying, quote, we are respectfully asking that customers do not bring guns into our restaurants unless they are authorized law enforcement personnel. So all they did was ask. They didn't say they banned guns. Later in the statement they said, quote, we hope that our customers who oppose the carrying of guns in public agree with us that it is the role of elected officials and the legislative process to set policy in this area, not the role of businesses like Chipotle. So Chipotle leaves it up to elected officials. They didn't ban guns. Sonic and Chili's also added their own statements at around the same time, basically saying the same thing, just asking nicely. There's no ban. But look around, and you'll find plenty of liberal and conservative blogs and social media pages trying to capitalize on this very issue with lies. Mother Jones, a liberal website with a large following, recklessly wrote the headline, "Why Chipotle Just Banned Guns." And it's still there today. It hasn't been updated. These clickbait websites have an audience of visitors and social media followers who are blindly believing anything. But even when one of the articles actually contains some truth, you can see the thousands and really millions of followers going to the extreme. And keep in mind, I'm not cherry-picking stories here. I didn't go way back in their archive to find this. This story was posted yesterday. The websites are filled with ads, and I get the feeling that most of the followers of these pages don't use AdBlock Plus. For the purpose of this video, I turn that extension off. Now, of course, the goal with ads is money, and there's nothing wrong with money, unless you're making it by lying to people. And there's nothing wrong with money, unless you're making it by purposely lowering the quality of thumbnail images for articles to discredit the subjects in the photos. An old trick that continues to work. And there's nothing wrong with money, unless you make it your life's work to rake in wealth based upon a tactic that's blocking the ability for the United States to move forward and improve overall. These websites and social media pages are lying to millions of people per day. I get the feeling they know what they're doing, and maybe they don't care. As I was writing the script for this video, doing as much research as possible to make sure that I present all of this clearly, Alan B. West posted this story, writing a sensational headline and using the death photo of two men as a way to capitalize so his organization can earn a little more ad money and to further their political agenda. And look at the ads on Breitbart. There were so many that the website actually showed the same video ad twice at the same time, one on top of the other. And then a giant full page ad covered all of that. And once I found out how to X out of the full page ad, I found all of this clickbait all over the place. Look at the photos. Look at the headlines. This is one fairly brief video covering really just one story on one day. If I had the time to do this more often, I would. I'd do videos about the truth around Donald Trump stories or Hillary Clinton stories or whoever. There's so much misinformation, but the facts are out there. What I'm trying to say is that this IKEA story with the political clickbait articles, this is just one example. The political climate on the internet is out of control. Don't get caught up on one side, thinking the other side is 100% of the problem. Look in the mirror. If you ever see me running ads on these videos, just know that I'll put the money towards equipment and advertising to make sure I can continue creating videos just like these in whatever time I can find. I'm publishing these videos to help, not harm. I hope you got something out of the video, and I ask that you share it around on social media. That's really the way to help. It's not so I can run out and be evil with the tiny amount of ad money I might make from YouTube, but so that one day I don't have to make these videos anymore.